Here we are at day 5 of Finish the Ride, a trip down to Card Sound and then on to Key West. Finishing off a diagonal cross-country journey from Cape Flattery, Washington to originally New Smyrna Beach, Florida, but now we're heading on down to Card Sound to hit the southeasternmost point in the United States after leaving from the northwesternmost point, and then on to Key West after that. So looking at about probably 4 more days of riding to finish it up, as we maybe 5, we'll see, as we head on to down towards Fort Lauderdale today, where we'll be staying tonight. Short day today, 47 miles. I'm putting 2 50-mile days together to make the overnight stays a little more affordable. I got a really good deal on a hotel in Fort Lauderdale tonight, and then in a hostel in Florida City on what'll be Thursday night. So that's the reason for the 2 short days, and then from there I don't have a plan for getting down to, other than getting to Card Sound after that. I don't know what I'm doing, so we'll see. So we're back out here on A1A now on the beaches and out of Lake Worth, thankfully. Back to having a bike lane slash shoulder and a little less traffic here. Getting into and out of Lake Worth, if you're on the ACA Atlantic Coast Route or the Florida Greenway, it's both the same there, to go to the John Pence campground, to pay $61 to tent camp there for the night, you're going to ride about an extra 8 to 10 miles if you're continuing on the Greenway or A1A or whatever you want to call it, ACA route. And then you're going to deal with a lot of traffic. It's just there's not many bike lanes down there. They're kind of hit and miss. I picked a bad route coming out. I think I manipulated the route to make it shorter, and that might be part of the issue. So be warned, it's not the greatest probably place to stay if you're doing this route, but it was a nice campground. People were nice there, and it's in the rear view mirror. If I had one, it would be in the rear view mirror. So on to Fort Lauderdale. But we're back out here on the intercoastal on one side and the beach on the other. Can't see it, and I'm guessing I'm not going to see it again now, probably much, unless I find a beach entrance to get down, because of this is all going to be built up now, probably the rest of the way to the Keys, at least along the shoreline, the route I'm taking anyway. So that water is nice and cool, but actually feel probably pretty good. It'd be a little bit of a shock getting into it. I don't even know what the water temperature is. It was up north here at I think it was south of Cocoa someplace the other day. It was 62. I could go for a swim here. I'd have to put my saddle cover on my seat in order to ride after I got these pants wet. So I mean, I'm not horribly concerned about getting them wet. I just would rather not ride with wet shorts on. Yeah, I should have brought swim trunks. I just didn't really think about. It's hard to think about when you're in Wisconsin. It's 20 below zero about swimming, even when you're going to Florida. For me, it is anyway. So back over here, there's actually a little lagoon on the waterway side, a little beach. A few people hanging out down there. If you're looking for this place, it's I'll give you the name of it when I walk back out of here. I didn't notice it on the way in, but it's probably about, I guess, about 5 miles south of where you cross the South Causeway from Lake Worth into back out onto the beaches here. And it's pretty easy to find. Yeah, I don't see a name on the back of the building here, so. So that last little clip was going through Delray Beach. And we're just a little bit north of Delray Beach now, and then Boca Raton, the next city that we roll into. Catching my money up there again. I just had to stop here and because I was almost past these, and wanted to film these homes here in Boca Raton. Wow. Finally, an unobstructed beach view. It's been a while. So this is the South Beach, Pavilion Beach in Boca Raton. And over the last couple of hours, the wind has really picked up, and I've now got probably about a 10 mile an hour or so headwind. Yeah, this is Deerfield Beach through here. And then after that, we've got Hillsborough Beach. And then I think Pompano's after that. So rolling through these groves of trees. I have been for a couple of miles now. And the big homes to the left, and they're sitting up pretty high from the road to begin with. That's giving me a little bit of a reprieve from the wind. Which, after having 4 days of tailwinds, well, 3.5 yesterday afternoon, it slipped around to start coming out of the southeast, but after being spoiled by that, it's kind of dragging on me a little bit. Just a little. Another one of the benefits of being on a bicycle is that you don't have to wait for pesky things like drawbridges. You can just roll right up to the front of the line, because you're going to be able to jump over in the state of Florida supplied bike lane. Oh, maybe not. And go over it. Or you're just going to be really pesky because, oh, how about that for tiny Terry? This. Yeah, you can usually get on the sidewalk and go, but there is no sidewalk. Oh, it's on the other side. Made it to Pompano Beach. And the day is turning decidedly cloudy. To the point where There wasn't any forecast rain down here, but I pulled up the radar just to take a look, and there's no rain in the area. And it's going to be really cloudy the rest of the afternoon. The wind's really picked up. It's 15 knots out of the southeast right now, so it's a pretty substantial headwind now. But I'm not in a lot of open areas down here because things are just getting more and more urban further south you go, so it's getting blocked by these big buildings. And then we're out in the mud, open areas along the beach. The foliage kind of knocks it down a little bit, so it's not too bad. It's just on and off. It's pretty strong right in your face. It slows you down. So it's not a lot of fun right now. It's okay. It is what it is. Oh, Johnny. It is what it is. So I have been really feeling the need for something to kind of pick me up here a little bit. And I was feeling like, boy, I really want some coffee. I passed up an ice cream place earlier because I just thought, yeah, ice cream's a good sugar charge, but that's not really what I'm looking for. And I only had 1 cup of coffee this morning. And lo and behold, what do I drive by? A Baskin Robbins with a Dunkin' Donut shop in it. I can do both here. And that's what I'm going to do, I think. So I decided to split the difference between ice cream and coffee, getting both, and having a protein latte instead, which is probably a better choice. I will probably have, and I don't want to spoil my supper either, because there's a pretty nice restaurant near where I'm staying tonight, and so I don't want to spoil my supper, and I'm sure I can find ice cream around there someplace afterwards, if needed. This would be Lauderdale by the sea, just to the north of Fort Lauderdale. And again, there was a pretty nice bike lane through here. Yeah, you don't really have to be apprehensive about I think this entire way so far about being out here riding these urban roads here in South Florida. They're pretty good. I only felt unsafe except one time, and that was walking through a crosswalk in Stewart the other night. I nearly got hit by a car. I think I mentioned that earlier. The bike was locked up in the hotel. But yeah, I've been moving right through most of these metro areas. I mean, I'm going to tell you, it'll slow you down because you're hitting red lights, and it's not as fast as being out there on the open road and just grinding out miles. And you got to be a little bit more aware of what's going on around you, looking back a lot. And having a good idea where your turns and whatnot are. I've missed a few. Because you can't be looking at a map while you're doing this. I'm just listening to the beeps. But I haven't had a single turn since I got on A1A this morning in Lake Worth. So just been straight down A1A here for the most part. Pretty straightforward. stays like this all the way down through Miami, I'll be pretty happy with this. This is not bad riding at all. So we are definitely in Fort Lauderdale now. So Rick, excuse me, let me start over there. Rick, who I had breakfast with on, I guess it would have been Sunday. He told me that getting around the airport down here was pretty tough, and he struggled with it. I'm following the ACA route. So far, it's been right. I mean, I mentioned before that it gave me a wrong turn. I took the wrong turn. I should have went right, and I went left. And so I corrected that. I went back because I'm trying to stay off US 1. It is incredibly busy and there's no bike lane on it in this area. And the reason it is so difficult to get around this little part of Fort Lauderdale is because you've got an ocean terminal on one side of you. You've got a canal up here that apparently US 1 is the only crossing over to get you to the other side without like being on I-95 or something. And so on a bike and then there's Interstate 595 that goes through here that I think goes out to the cruise ship terminal, and you can't go on that, so it's kind of routing under it and along it, and it's just kind of messy. And I took a close look at it before I left this morning, so I'd have a good idea of who's going to take it around this. And so far, it's okay. I'm just back in these industrial parks. I'm not on really busy roads, but I just got to pay attention to where I make turns and whatnot back here. So we got a little bit of peace here for a few minutes riding this road behind the airport. That's I think the end of one of the runways for the airport here, or the back side of it. So we were back to US 1, and this is going to be the hairiest part of the day, I think, right here. I need to get all the way over to the other side here. To the other side of this road. I don't know what that guy was blowing his horn about. The traffic has got nowhere to go there. So I got to figure this bridge out quick. Looks like there's a footpath. I prefer to stay in the bike lane because when I get on the other side of this thing, I've got to take a quick left. And I'm going to have an opportunity to make a choice here. So far, there's a bike lane. I'm going to have an opportunity to make a choice. I would prefer to stay in the bike lane because it's easier to get from the bike lane over to the left turn. And there's no light at the left turn, so this could be really interesting. I'm probably scaring everybody off from doing this. Yeah, the bike lane's disappearing. This canal is really much smaller than I thought it was going to be. So I can stay right here. I got to figure out a little ways. So I got the bike line's going to continue, so that's good. I just got to figure out where this left-hand turn is. And then we're back in this peaceful little neighborhood again. So this isn't as hard as I'm making it look. One of the things that's complicated it is 5 o'clock at night. So I started this whole operation about 4:30. and probably not the best time of trying to get around a major airport, a cruise ship terminal. And we're actually in Delray Beach here. Okay, I had nothing to do with that. And just to put a cap on the day before I run out of film here, because I'm almost at the end of this SD card, we are here. I just got to find where the office is. Not terribly apparent here. I don't see anything that way. Down the back here. We'll find it. I wanted just to do a little bit of an addendum to the end of day 5 there. What actually ended up happening there was I got to the motel, and as I said just before I shut the camera off, my SD card was just about empty. And when I got into the motel, I found that they didn't have any internet, and they weren't sure when they were going to get it back up. Long story short, I ended up finding another motel to stay in, which was 7 miles to the northwest. Now, remember, I'm going southeast, so it was in exactly the opposite direction from which I needed to go the next day. But it was the only place I could get that was affordable, or at least for me affordable. And it was getting late, and by the time I got up there, it was dark. And it was actually clear around the other side on the northwest corner of the airport. So it was quite a ride up there. And then the next day I had to come back around the other side and back through kind of the same gauntlet that you saw me going through there on the way down to the first motel that I was at that I couldn't get into. So actually, looking back on it, that turned out to probably be about the worst day of the trip. And it wasn't even that bad. And it was really what it came down to was the afternoon, the weather getting kind of a little bit not so fun when it's been perfect the rest of the way. And then having to get around the airport down there and through Fort Lauderdale was a pretty interesting time as well, as you saw. And really after that, it just got better, and it was all good before that. So a couple of bad hours on an 8-day trip, I don't think is too bad. So I know I'm sitting here complaining, but yeah, that's what happened there. So I didn't really want to end the film there, so I thought I'd better add this on just to give you a little bit of an explanation as to what happened the rest